And how's things going down in sunny Florida, man?
Great. So yeah, it's not so good, I guess, right? Everything's good. Scott choking on my coffee. Um, Everything's going well. Training's going well. Back to it. I was out of town for a little bit. Corner two fighters in the Dominican Republic. They won. That was awesome. Then went and saw some family. So back to it, man. And looking forward to get back to the octagon and getting in the rhythm.
Fantastic, man. I just want to ask, it's obviously Florida is a new home. You haven't been there too long. Just talk us through the move. You moved down from North Carolina down to Sanford MMA. Just talk us what sparked that and how it's been going down there.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get around, consistent guys, that challenge me every single day. Wanted to move forward in my career and build to get better, build and get better, right? And build my fundamentals, build, different skill sets, just grow as a man. And Sanford, offered a lot of that, a lot of great training partners, solid people, great coaches, and great connections. And for the goals that I've set before myself, and I know that are the ones I'm going to achieve in the future, I need to be around this environment where I'm challenged and where I'm pushed every single day consistently. And that's definitely here at Sanford.
How important do you think that is as a fighter to step out of your comfort zone like you've done, to change completely to a new team, all new living conditions? Do you think that's quite important at some point in your career?
Yeah, I think it's super important. I mean, I think it's important for any, not just as a fighter, not just as a business person, as a human being. Like, you don't get to grow unless you step out of your comfort zone. Like, to be comfortable and to live in a place where you almost become complacent and grow in complacency. I don't see it as a place that's. I don't see it as like you're not living in an environment that demands the best of yourself, and that's not what I want. I think it's super important every single day to push the envelope and to to go after your dreams. And I think the only way to go after like what's inside you have to like break that mold. And those comfort zones, man, it's like false confidence, right? And you don't want that. I rather go in a place every single day where I'm getting challenged and I have to get better and refine myself, because with that fire, when you step in the octagon, you step in any challenge in life, not only as a fighter, you're able to overcome it.
Fantastic, man. Uh, just a cool bit of detail for you, your team, Mr. Henry Hooft, your head coach there. He's
Yeah.
we've got a few friends from South Africa with Henry. Coach Richie Kwan, they spent a bit of time there a few years back. So he always keeps a keen eye on his guys down there in South Africa, a couple of guys in the UFC and so on. So it's always cool to speak to the guys from Sanford. We have a long distance
Oh wow.
relationship, I'll call it.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Along with the change in team and where you're staying, you've also decided to drop down to welterweight. What would you say is the main reasoning for that? I know guys sometimes in the weight division feel maybe that guys are cutting a long way down to get to a certain weight class. Do you feel that it's you have a power advantage, or you're just more comfortable in welterweight, or what was your main reasoning for it?
Man, I just had a lot of guys who men who give me, great advice, like Coach Jones, Coach Kami, Coach Hoops, everybody, right? Then Dr. Corey Peacock, he's our strength and conditioning coach. They were looking at me. I was training one day, and they said, "Have you ever thought about going to 170?" And I really started with like I wanted the challenge, right? The first time really cut weight like that, and also too, they were like the way they just looked at my body. They were like, "Hey, I feel like I can fight at 170, so let's give it a go." And for me, it's like when you accept a challenge, you take it head on, and that's what it was. And it ended up working out. Fighting at 170, I think I measured better than I do at 85. I was in the tallest 85, or maybe even the tallest 70. But I just feel like I have more of an advantage there, and it opens up the door for more goals to be accomplished. Right, become the welterweight champion, middleweight champion, light heavyweight, heavyweight. Like opportunity to grow as my career, right? And I feel like the more challenge you accept, the more opportunities you got to take advantage of too. And that's really what it was. It wasn't like I feel there's a power discrepancy with the 85 versus the 70. I didn't feel that there was these guys are that much bigger than me or that much stronger. No, it was like I wanted a challenge, and if it's possible, why not take it?
Fantastic, man. Um, Looking through your earlier career, I see you've played football, you've got some degrees, your accounting degree or financial degree. You worked as an accountant before, and where did the change come for you? Where did you decide MMA is how I'm going to follow, and that's the dream I'm going to chase?
Well, since I was a kid, I've always loved fighting. Like I never was like really kid of fighting a bunch of people, but it's always been something in my heart. I used to pray if I could be born in another time, like could I be a gladiator or if I could be a warrior in a tribe. It was always a thing that attracted me. Bible studies, church stories, it didn't matter what it was. If you talk about the fighters and the warrior in the Bible, that was something that got me going. Watching shows about it when I was a kid, so it was always in my heart to have that combat mindset, and it's in my heart. So I didn't start playing football till my senior year of high school. So I played through college. And then my last semester of college, I wanted to play pro. But I saw that guys in the NFL were training mixed martial arts, different styles of martial arts like jiu-jitsu. Some were doing boxing, some were doing wrestling and other things. And it was helping them. But the second I sat on the mat, I was like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. Watch a fight. I prayed on it. And I took a fight a couple weeks later. That was fun in college. Didn't really train because I had to finish school. Um, Went to New York to see how pros train. Went by Chris Weidman's gym. Went by Renzo Gracie. Just trying to see. But I really had to focus on school. Started working as an accountant, but every single time I was working, I had like my one computer screen on my Excel spreadsheet or work I needed to do, NetSuite, and then every other screen was like on jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing. I was like, man, like this is not getting away from me. And I was starting to get back into training. It's 2018, and I was like, man, how much time could I be an accountant for? Like I could do it my whole life. That's what God's called me to do. But I knew in my heart that like I was supposed to do something different, like not bigger than accounting, maybe accounting for somebody that is their dream. But for me, it's like doing what I'm called to do, and that's to fight. Right. No matter what goes on in my life, I know one thing I'm doing is called to fight. And I don't want to be complacent or sit there and just say take the job that was in a way comfortable for me to be an accountant, do that work, just use my brain, which is awesome. And credit to everybody who does it because you need them. But I just realized that wasn't my purpose for this life, and I wanted to go on the path that God had me on. And I talked to my former coach before, and he's like, "You'll be accounting forever." So I decided to go all in. I left the accounting position. I actually was getting a promotion that same week, and it's been awesome. You know, money's always great to have, but I know that the best is yet to come, and it's been getting better and better. Like I feel like I look back on it sometimes and think about, man, if I never made that decision, I would. Who knows if I'd ever be in the UFC or where my life would be right now. And I met some pretty beautiful people, and it's just been growing ever since.
Awesome, man. What one thing I have to ask about that move from accounting to professional MMA fighter. How did the
Yeah.
conversation go with your folks? You knowing like African parents have given up a lot, to travel overseas and then say, like, look, Dad, Mom, I've decided I'm gonna fight in a cage for a living. How did that conversation go with your folks?
Man, my parents are the best. They really are. They are definitely Congolese parents for sure, right? Like they are, but they are also very um loving, right? They listen a lot and they will advise you the best, but they always want you after your dreams. Cause I mean, they did the same thing in a way. Like, you know how it is. Like you come from one country, go to another. They're like, no, you should do this. You should be safe. So they could relate to me. Maybe at first I think I more misunderstood anything than them. Like I was like, cause I think they saw the work that I put in through school. They saw the work, they've seen what education has done. My parents are intelligent individuals who built their lives literally day by day, dollar by dollar. My dad came to this country with $12 in his pocket, so he's seen what education can do. My mom, she's on a route to medical school. Things happen. She became a nurse, and she's doing really well in that too. And shout out to you, mom. She's got a reward for being a nurse. So,
Awesome.
like a nurse in one of like the top nurses of the country or something like that. So I'm super proud of her. Let's give her a shout out, right? But like they've seen it. And at first I didn't understand. So I was like, oh no, like, they weren't necessarily not happy with it. They just wanted me to be smart and one of the best in my life. Right. But then, as they saw how I'd wake up and go to the gym, I wouldn't come back till late at night. I would wake up and go to the gym. I wouldn't come back late at night. I was working in like in a grocery store, bouncing at night, training people, like just whatever I could do to make the training sessions. And they encouraged, and prayed. And they saw, we want to fight, we want to fight. We lost the fight. We won a fight. We won a fight. We won a fight. We just kept claiming these victories, right? And it's been awesome. And one of the biggest like highlights of my career, though I lost that night when I fought in Abu Dhabi, and I lost that fight with Joaquin Buckley. My dad got to corner me, right? And the cool thing is, like he sewed together the two flags, the Congolese flag and the United States of America flag. And it's kind of cool because he's the first person to leave Congo, and he brought a lot of his family over with him. So it was like very significant to me that what he did was what he did for me that night, right? And it was awesome. And then just been so supportive, man. They are prayer warriors. They are loving. So it didn't really turn out bad. After they realized this is what I'm gonna do, they're all in. They're like, let's do it. And my dad's funny. He's like, hey, don't come to this house losing. It's like my dad's like, you better go out there. I don't want to hear any excuses of why you lost or nothing like that. I want to see you go out there and go get it. And most people be like, oh my gosh, that's harsh. But my dad knows me best, right? And he knows me so well, being his son. And that's what I needed. And it just made me think like, okay, like I'm gonna do this, go all the way in it. If we're gonna do this, go claim these victories, right? You don't have room to always fall short, like go get it. So they've been awesome. And I swear without my parents, I would not be in the UFC at all. My brother and sister, they are not just my motivating factors, but then I have a lot of other great people too, the Logans and the Edricks, so many great people. I'm very grateful for their love and support. And I'd be wrong not to say like, at first I used to be like, oh, they didn't get it. Now it's like they got it more than anybody, you know? So I appreciate my parents for sure.
Absolutely, man. And we know the African story. It's a lot of sacrifice to get to those positions, to like you say, give you those opportunities to be in the UFC where you are now. And just on that African team, obviously we've seen this massive rise in African MMA. And sitting here in South Africa, we have the promotion EFC, and we're really pushing to become this benchmark of African MMA to kind of create this feed into the UFC as the years go on. How do you see the rise of African MMA and Africans in the UFC? Does it galvanize you? Does it feel you like, do you get pumped up a little bit extra? Maybe you're walking through the change room. I don't know if you've had the chance to meet Dalcha Lungumbula, who's from the Congo, who's originally was fighting out of South Africa. Seeing these guys starting to come through. What does that do for you at the moment in terms of getting that little bit of extra fight juice on fight night?
Man, I think it's super cool. It's inspiring. So like when you see people who are from where you're from, they don't necessarily just look like you, but they come from the same land. It's an amazing feeling. I could only imagine like the history of like the Brazilian fighters, and they see all these champions and the people who are like pioneers to what we do as fighters, right? And like I love what they do. But then when you see like Africans and you see people from like Dalsha, right, from Congo, and what he's done, right, and through UFC, I believe I messaged him a long time ago. I have to go see, but I just remember like wanting to, if I did, but I just remember like following his story, like man, that's so cool. And then I remember a couple years ago, I was hoping to get in the UFC, and then one of my friends who was at the time was my agent too, and he was like, hey, there's a possibility you could fight in the UFC. This could be a short notice. It's somebody you admire, but well, that'd be cool. So I could have actually ended up fighting Dalcha. I don't who knows how close I was being finalized, right? But it was just like it's a big honor for me when I see my first time on Contender Series or talk about all the champions, like or the great fighters at the time, if they're champions yet. Adesanya, Usman. You see Sadiq, who's super cool. I met him at my last fight, right? Ngannou, who I met my first time was the Contender Series, right? Like you see these guys, and you see like I see them like I can almost kind of see my parents, like they came from the country, their countries, and came here. Especially Ngannou's story, like you have to have respect for that, right? I decided his family and moving, and then just figuring out a way and his craftiness and the way they fight, man, and it's just cool, and it's an honor and it's a legacy that I want to carry on too, right? Because like I was born in the United States, like Congo was born in me. I'm so connected to it. I want to see it grow. And then just seeing like what EFC has done, what these promotions are doing, where these fighters are coming from, and they're making journeys to get there. And who knows what the sacrifice they had to make just to get on the international stage to go to the UFC or any other of the big promotions. But it's super cool. I think the rise of it this is not even the beginning of it. This is just like a slight introduction. I think there'll be many African champions, I'm going to be one of them. And it's just like, it's an honor to represent the motherland. And I don't think it's just like I say, borders only exist in the mind. It's not like we are just, okay, I'm Congolese, this person's from Ghana, this person's from Nigeria, this person's from South Africa, person from Morocco. I look at it as ways like borders don't exist to me in that way. Like we're all Africans, right? No matter where you come from, how you look, we're all Africans. And it's important to me to represent all of us. And very, very, very proud of them. It's like it does give you a different kind of charge and different kind of heart. I mean, the day they have a UFC Africa card, I mean, I hope to be on it, headlining it one day too. But I mean, I'm looking forward to those days, man. Forward to those days.
On that, it's a question I have to ask every African fighter. Where do you see the first UFC African card happening?
Man, one of the first ones I could see it being in maybe somewhere in Nigeria, maybe Lagos, because you have Usman and Adesanya. Maybe South Africa too, right? That'd be cool. Could be in Johannesburg. Maybe I'll say Nigeria, South Africa. I think it'd be super cool. I pray to God that I can keep rising up. That'd be cool to have it in Kinshasa, where the Rumbling Jungle was,
Yeah,
and like retell a different kind of story, right? I think it would add to the history. But also too, I want to see like every nation that the fights happen in actually improve. Like if you
sure.
ever look at like what happened after the Rumbling Jungle, it wasn't like necessarily the best in Congo. It wasn't the best. So I would just love to see like some positive changes too everywhere, right?
Absolutely, man. Impa, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I just want to close with what message you would have for the African fans that would be tuning in to listen to this. What would your message to them be?
Man, to the African fans, and if to anybody who wants to be a fighter, you give me a lot of energy. I appreciate y'all so much. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for having me on your show. It means a lot. You know, as Africans, let's stick together. Let's stick as people, and not stick together and push other people away, but let's include others, right? Let's show people what we can do at a professional level. If you see somebody with a dream, encourage them, right? Don't just tell them there's only one way to go because we've only seen it one way. See it as a way that, hey, though my child wants to do something different, encourage them in education, encourage them, but just go see where their passion is, and maybe you'll be inspired too. And whatever your passion may be, whether it's education, whether it's culinary arts, whatever it is. But if your child, if you see somebody who can benefit from the discipline and the training and the demand of martial arts, encourage them in that, because you never know where that can lead them. Let's not be closed-minded. Let's not be closed-minded to the ways of the past. Let's be progressive in what we do. Also too, anybody going through it, like one thing that is a big issue in my heart, in my life, and things that I care about, it's like you might be going through a tough time, but your life is so worth it. So you don't have to quit on yourself. You don't have to take your own life. You don't have to be somebody or something that is defined by their past. What God has for you, what life has for you, there's a bigger plan and purpose for your life. So if you feel like quitting because maybe you lost a fight, maybe you lost, if you're a fighter, you lost a fight and you feel like that's the only thing that defined you, that win or loss, and you're like, man, I don't know what to do with myself. And you think the only thing to do is turn your button off, message me and comment on my page, and I'll tell you why you should keep living, right? Because you have a bigger purpose than ending your life for a temporary moment. So many people get frustrated. It's been a hard 2020 for many. It's been a hard 2021, and you're not too sure what to do. But just remember, like, anything is possible. Take it from a guy who never trained any martial arts his whole life, sports or anything, and then he gets to go 3 years and I'm in the UFC. Your life can change in a year. So take that testimony and understand that we all have a great plan for our lives. And if you're going to be a fighter, fight through everything. And always remember, like, you may step into a conflict, win or loss, you stepped into it. That's what a fight is. You're stepping into a conflict, you're choosing to own it. And you'll only get better from there. Whether it's not the result you wanted, the result you always prayed for. Remember that, like, the best is yet to come, and that your life is a lot bigger than where you just are. And a lot of people you don't even know are actually watching you. So just be an encouragement to the people around you. And any of you young fighters out there, I hope that we get a fight on the same cards one day. I hope that I get to cheer you on. And if we do get a fight, it'll be an honor as well. So thank you.
Fantastic, man. That's a beautiful message, and I hope that helps a lot of people. Thank you so much for your time, man. I really do appreciate it. Been dying to speak to you, so I'm really glad we got to do
Thanks so
that.
much.
And we're very excited to see you get to the top of the ranks, man. It's been a fun ride up until now, with the quick turnaround, the 18 days from the Contender Series to where you are now. So we wish you all the best for the rest of it, man. I can't wait to see you lift that belt one day.
Thank you so much for that. God bless.
Thank you, man. And you have a great day.
Thank you.